Hey guys, it's Heinzie here. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're brand new to this channel, please smash that subscribe button. It is super, super important to help grow this amazing channel. Now, guys, I am looking a bit rough. I am sorry, I know. I'm starting to grow a moustache for Movember this month. A really, really amazing charity and cause, raising money for men's health and also for suicide prevention as well. Really, really important cause. So, guys, I'm doing my bit. If you can help support Movember as well, the link will be in the description below. Let's see what we can get done, guys, and back this incredible group who do an amazing job. Now, again, we had the Gridsy session. We just had the chat. It was absolutely massive. A lot of the contestants from the speed GAC that we had during the week as well. Want to give a big shout out to the boy who also joined us as well, Crumb and Doja, don't forget, and the whole team at CG. Thank you so much for putting it all together. It was an absolute pleasure to be a part of. It really was. So we were joined on the Gridsy with Ranger, my partner, of course. We had Solo from the Gambit podcast. It was fantastic. We also had Gom. Goodness gracious, God help us all. We also had, of course, we had Llama, which was absolutely fantastic. We had a little bit of Loki action, and my boy Grid joined with Crumb at the same time. It was fantastic. So, guys, enjoy the conversation. Talked about what was great about it, what wasn't so great about it, what can be improved, and what the future is for this type of format. It's an absolutely fantastic chat, and we picked this up right where Llama is just reminding Crumb that she kicked his butt and he finished last. Enjoy.
That took 3 minutes before we got that knife straight in my back. Thank you, I appreciate it.
I also
I've done this yourself, Anakin.
Stream, so you had to have known it would come out of my mouth. But I think we're happy with how we did. Everybody thought that we were going to be last, honestly. So to not be in last was pretty exciting.
Yeah, 100%. And of course, give the Bounty Honeys some love, guys, if you haven't already. If we can get the link in chat, please, for the Bounty Honeys, that would be absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having a great chat tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, Llama. We're just warming up here. Yep. It's great. Crumb is here in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, it's great to have you here, Crumb. Thank you so much for joining us, my friend. Welcome back. It's been a couple of weeks, mate. We missed you already. And I must have had an amazing effect because, the eye candy of Heinzie, he just couldn't hold himself back. That's how it went, right? Straight up.
Thanks for having me back. I hope this will be a lot of fun. Speed GAC was insane and it was exhausting and it was great. It was a huge success.
It was.
I'm really excited to talk about it because I've now finally gone back and watched a lot of the streams because I was unable to see what the other perspectives were, and it was really cool to see how everyone else fared through each of the different matches and stuff. It was nuts.
No, it's great. Hey, just a quick one. Crumb, knock knock. Can I do a knock knock joke? Knock knock.
Who's there?
Owen.
Owen who?
Owen 3, baby! Owen 3, Crumb! Come on, mate! That was terrible! That was terrible.
Okay, well, that's I already finished my bingo card, guys. I can go home. Thanks everyone. It was great talking to you.
I had to do it. I'm sorry. I had to do it. It was killing me. Okay. I had to do it. I couldn't hold back any longer.
It's going to be a nickname. It's going to stick around for a while, I feel like, unfortunately.
Mate, it's great to have you here. All jokes aside, it was an amazing tournament. We'll come back and we'll talk about it a lot more really soon. Loki, have a look at Loki. He's looking magnificent. Have a look at this guy, ladies and gentlemen. Looking
he
absolutely
has the harem.
He's got it all going on. Loki, welcome, man. You did the best you could as well, mate. Good backup job, but tough day at the office for you, bro.
No, I'm here for Crumb, man. So I feel the pain as well.
Scum.
The knives are in my back as well, but it is what it is, man. You win like a champ, you lose like a champ, and and we move on. But you guys can have fun. I've taken the hits on the Battalion podcast last night. I took hits from AP Gaines' stream, so here I am. I'm ready,
mate. You're fronting
I'm here
up,
to back
mate.
up Crumb too. So,
mate, it's a sign of good character, man. Fronting up, obviously knowing that what was coming your way, man. I'm not gonna lie, both of you. It was fantastic, and really, honestly. Everyone's a winner. Not going to lie. That was just an incredible experience. It really was.
Great.
The leaderboard really is irrelevant. The whole experience and the build-up and the fun and the execution and the whole broadcast was honestly second to none. So everyone's a winner. Not going to lie. Grid, are you there, mate? We can't see you. Are you out there at the moment, brother, or are you fixing your hair again? Yeah, nothing.
Okay, yeah. Pardon me.
Good talk, brother. Good talk. That was great. Cheers, Grid. Good job. Anyway, let's move along and let's start. Who wants to go first? Who wants to go first and talk about Spear GSC? Who wants to front up? Because honestly, I had a ball. I came in obviously later on, and it was a thrill. Ranger brought me in late in the piece, and honestly, I was absolutely stoked to be included in it. I'm not going to lie, it was incredible, and.
Well, I think I'll go first. I mean, I don't think any of us knew like what to expect, right? This was such a new thing. It was such a new experience. I mean, when you think about like what we were facing and dealing with, we were dealing with accounts we never dealt with before. They were all Relic 9. The mods were limited. And I know we all spend a lot of time remodding and stuff. I spent the whole weekend dicking around with mods and then practicing. But, it was something that I don't care who you are. I mean, everybody here is incredible at GAC. And, you can go look at their history and stuff, but that doesn't mean a damn thing when you get into that situation. And I went back and looked at a lot of stuff. It could have gone a lot of different ways for a lot of different matches. I mean, it really came down to the wire on some of these matches. So it was a new animal, and it was cool. It was different because you were just basically on instinct. Like the only time you could really make adjustments is after you did it the first time, where you kind of adjust and think, okay, what did I do wrong, or what did I do right, or what do I have to do the next round? So it was intense. I mean, it was absolutely intense. I was like in primal form when I was doing it, because you don't have time to think. You just have you have got to react and go in there. So it was a lot of fun. It was intense. I don't want to do it again. I told Ned, can I be a commentator moving forward? Because that was nuts, but it was a lot of fun, and I hope that everybody really enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. Solo, your thoughts, man? Anything you want to add to that, brother?
I mean, Ranger said a lot of it, but part of it is this modding. Like we put some ridiculous modding on these teams, and then you watch the stream and they're like, we're just going to CLS this team with a BB-8 that I think we had the BB-8 like an effective speed of 450 to catch people off guard, and then just watch two people just, here's CLS, Han shoots him. Damn it. so much time modding, and CLS kills it.
yeah, I hear you. It was just, I mean, it was really, really unique. And I mean, I liked how it was just so even. Obviously, you had all the accounts. We all had all the toys. The modding really made the difference. It really did in so many cases. Gom, your thoughts. I know that, you obviously would have spent a fair bit of time remodding that as well, Gom. Your thoughts, mate, on the event and the accounts themselves. I think they were pretty amazing, not gonna lie.
I spent an absurd amount of time modding our account. It was way too much time spent. It was a lot of fun. We committed to a certain couple teams. JML team did pretty well for us, and had one more team that did all right for us. And we put out a pretty heavy defense and just kind of swung for the fences on offense. And we did okay. It was a lot of fun. I will do it anytime. That was so much fun. That's probably my favorite thing I've ever been involved in since making content in this game, right? That was a lot of fun. So thank you guys all of you guys that are watching as well. Thank you for making it the event it was. Like, it really, you guys did great in all the streams, supporting all your streamers, your favorite streamers. Everyone, for the most part, seemed to keep it relatively clean. So it was just a good, fun time for everyone involved. Thank you guys so much, CG, Crumb, for inviting us to do it. It was awesome.
100%, absolutely. So Llama, your thoughts on the event? You obviously experienced it as well, with Kate pushing the buttons. It's tough to control sitting in the co-pilot seat what's going down. I mean, you can only do so much, let's be honest. How did you find it overall? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I mean, we had an absolute blast. I mean, Kate and I kind of had a little bit of an added challenge, right? Because we're both Div 4 players. So there were a lot of these characters, there were characters, right, that all of us didn't really have, a good kind of background on, Maul, things like that. But, a lot of these GLs Kate and I have never played with before. So it's been, it was, a pretty added challenge to learn all of these characters that we've never really seen, to prepare ourselves to have these kind of BB accounts. But I mean, we had a complete blast. I said it when we all got back together after the event, nothing has tested Kate and Mai's friendship more than the experience of going through this. And, because I mean, y'all know Kate Gaming, streaming Kate Gaming, but you don't know competitive out for blood Kate Gaming, and that's what she was from start to finish. That's what she was from start to finish. she'd hop on, stream with people and be like, oh yeah, I think we're gonna do okay. And like in the background, we'd be in a voice call like, no, we're gonna cut everybody's throats and slay them all. So we had such a great time, and we were just, like everybody said, just really thankful to be part of it. Especially since we are, kind of the smallest of the group that was invited. So it was a great time.
How did you find having fun with all the toys, Llama? That's what I want to know. Like, you had all the toys at your disposal, and some of them, obviously, that will take some time for you to achieve. How did you find having fun with all the toys? I'm curious.
Oh, it was great. I mean, we were like kids in a candy store. Like, we got those like Relic Night accounts, and we were like playing with everything. And like, even when we did the test and like when we just kind of uploaded just like any random account when we were practicing and stuff like that, like we immediately like were playing around. Like, we took a character from like 0 to R9 like just for the heck of it. So it was a lot of fun to get to play with all those toys. The only takeaway that I had is like, I wish that we just could have kept it. Like, that would have been great. So I mean, Crumb, I would say that this is like our official application to be part of the testing program. But yeah, it was great.
I love it. Hey, Llama, which character did you have the most fun with? I'm curious.
I think getting to play around with C was really fun because once you get him going, he just like deletes people. Cat was also great to actually get to experience like, getting her going and just removing a character and just making them irrelevant. So it was definitely good.
Fantastic. I love it. It's great. I'll come back to you in a sec, Crumb. I'm just going to move to Loki first, and I want to come back to you last, because I want to get in depth, obviously, with you a little bit more, if you don't mind. So, Loki, your thoughts on the event itself, brother, how it all played out, the trials and tribulations and struggles you had as a co-pilot with Crumb. I'm curious on that. How did it all play out for you, my friend? I'm curious. How'd it go?
I don't know. I mean, the event it was a lot better than it ran a lot smoother than I thought. I thought we were going to have maybe some hiccups, with just the way, like the transitions and stuff like that. Because, we had a couple of bugs when we were doing the practice runs and stuff like that. Right. But, overall, I mean, dude, hats off to the devs, and Escape Podcast for kind of just, taking the reins on the presentation of the thing, and obviously the streamers as well. But, getting in there, like Ranger said earlier, it's a different game when you got 20 minutes, to do everything, to attack. I rewatched, that night I rewatched our stream, Crumb stream, and, you saw, I saw all the little mistakes in here and there. 2 really close battles, the one against Zareth and Solo, the one against Kate and Llama. I mean, both of those could either gone either way, because it felt like we were the last, like we were in there for the last seconds, and unfortunately it just didn't land our way. But it was a fun event, man. I said it on other streams after. I was saying it in Operation Metaverse's chat that immediately after. I'd really love to have this thing in the actual live game. Kind of just like a choice where you can either do speed GAC or you can do normal GAC, right? Just to, and be able to knock it out all in a day. I think that'd be really fun. And if other people want to participate as well, then the matchmaking works that way. Is whoever wants to do speed GAC, we go into a little bucket, and whoever wants to do normal GAC, they go into a bucket, and it is what it is. But overall, it was super fun, man. I can't really complain, other than Crumb and I setting up the accounts over the weekend, and that was a big chore. Unfortunately, we went 0-3, but it could have went either way. So
fair enough.
Shout out to Loki for all that remodding.
It's crazy. The only issue I see with the Speed GAC is the time zones. I think that's the only problem with it. To be honest, I mean, the concept is great, but you'd have to do like a 2 different time zone version to cover both sides of the globe, because a lot of people aren't going to get up at 4 a.m. to do Speed GAC, which is obviously perfect time in the US for people to do it. So that's the only, just off the top of my head, the only problem or issue I could see with that. Anyway, that's for another time. We'll talk about that another time, or later on even. We'll see what we can work out. But let's move to Crumb. Let's have a great chat. Obviously, himself and Doja, the masterminds of the whole event. Mate, from all of us that were involved, thank you so much for all the hard work that you put into getting it up and running. We know we honestly know that, well, actually, we don't know. Let's be honest. We really don't know how much work was involved, how many hours were involved with all the different staff and the team to actually put it all together. And we really, from the bottom of our hearts, cannot thank you guys enough for the hard work, because it was so worth it. It really, really was.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so glad you guys all enjoyed it. There was definitely a lot of work that went into it. Two of our engineers, I think one of them was in the chat with you guys a bunch, making sure everything was working right. Did just a lot of work to make sure it all came together. And as Loki was saying, leading up to the event, we're having some errors and issues, and we were really worried about game day. But hey, it all worked out smoothly. And I think right as it clicked over to the first battle and everyone got matched up properly, I'll say the engineer literally started crying. He was so happy that it finally worked. It was like, yes, it's actually happening. But it was amazing. It was so much fun. I feel like I learned so much from Loki and Fugitive around just like the different matchups at that tier. I mean, I think I played GAC, but with the Relic 9 and the modding like that, the whole situation changes to a completely different set of strategies. And huge shout out to Loki for just willing to sit with me, teach me all this stuff, and help me get understand and grok like this level of GAC. And I think that was one of our big advantages that we were trying to lean on going into it, was the in-depth knowledge that Loki had and that Fugitive had around the game. And it didn't quite pay off, but so we had some really close matches. The one with Xerath and Solo was so much fun. I felt like we're going back and forth. Like every time I popped back to the map, like it was like edge and edge with each other, and I was like, oh, I think we're gonna win, and then I think we're behind, and then right at the end there was like eight banner difference, I think, at the end. It was so good. And we had a lot of really great competitors, and I don't know, I think it was a huge success. I know the people inside the studio, we talked about it this week in the team meeting, and a lot of people from inside the studio watched it as well, and they all loved it. Got a lot of emails and messages on from folks around the company being like, hey, that was really awesome, how do we do this again, and stuff like that. So we're thinking about what is the next steps for this in the future, since it did all worked out. I mean, that was one of my big concerns when people were asking me before the event, like, okay, what's the next step for this? And like, let's get one in the bag first before we go nuts here.
Let's take a breath.
Now we have one in the bag. Yeah. Now it's time to start figuring out what that looks like. So, because I know there's a lot of want for that inside the studio and with the community. I think we want to not run them too often, just because they are absolutely exhausting. I think everyone, I'm surprised Gom and T-Money were still streaming afterwards. I hopped into that stream as well, but I was just beat. I was just laying in the back of my chair, just being numb from, I feel like an information overload for the last 3 hours. But it was crazy to see, and it was so fun. I can't wait to see the final wrap up video that I think the folks over at Escape Podcast are working on. They're going to try and do a highlight run. So I'd love to see what that actually looks like when it's out there, because there's some cool stories to be told for sure.
Absolutely. Crumb, can I ask, obviously, because you said that you've watched all the streams now.
Not all of them, a lot of them.
No, okay, is there one that you stood out that you really, really enjoyed? That's what I want to know. Which one did you go, that was a really, really good stream? Was that a fun broadcast? Which one stood out? I mean,
the Cubs grid one was a lot of fun. There was a lot of drama. There was a lot of excitement. There was a lot of sadness. It was, it was the whole range of emotions, really. But I enjoyed watching the Gom and T-Money stream as well. That was awesome to see. They just the insight into their mind, how it works when you guys already do this on streams every week with GAC stuff, Gom, but just sitting there and seeing what you had to work with and how you took it apart and decided on what you were going to do was really interesting. And I mean, everyone I've watched had its own kind of interesting moments in them, and really exciting kind of crescendos and sadness and the whole thing. So the one I would still want to see is Niv's perspective for the whole thing. I don't think we've seen that yet, so I'd love to see more of what happened with some of his battles.
That would be really interesting. I think we'd all like to see that. 100%. It's great. But as you said, we were obviously aware that a lot of the team got together in the office and they were watching on the big screens when it was all going down. Was that right? I heard that there was a bit of a celebration going on and they were really engaged in it, and they made a bit of an event in themselves in the office while it was all going down. Correct? Is that right?
Yeah, there's a lot of people watching it. There's a good healthy amount of chatter around it in the team chat as people were like watching the different streams and talking about it as well. So yeah, it was a big event inside the studio and out. So it was a lot of fun for, I said, some of the folks from all sorts of different teams came up and like talked to me about it. And some people who play GSC a little bit, some people play it a lot. I heard from like very different kinds of players inside the studio being like, "Oh my God, this was so cool to watch. Like, I don't understand half what's going on, but this is the most entertaining thing I've ever seen."
That's brilliant. That's so good. It's so good. Is there anything that you probably learnt, Crumb, post event that you think, we could have done that better? Like, I'm really, really interested into what your thoughts are around possible changes down the track or where it can take us from here, because the event worked. It's a no-brainer. It was, I never check the figures, guys. I just don't. I don't care about numbers. That's not my style. I went back and checked it out, and that stream was the third largest one I've ever done from people watching. So there's an appetite
awesome
for it, right? It really is. And is there anything that you learnt from a perspective, a change point of view down the track that could make it even more amazing?
There was a lot of technical hurdles we learned from, and I think like just the setup process for us was pretty manual for a lot of it. And so I think automating that, obviously, and things like that, just so like when we try and learn from what we did in this event and make sure it's a much smoother process for next time. But in terms of the structure itself, I think like we probably want to like mess with it every time, like not keep the same structure of like, okay, it's max accounts with 20 minutes, or right, like maybe it's a different level of accounts. Maybe it's like getting people with 2 million GP accounts that they're all the same or something like that. Or I heard things about changing the times, changing like different kind of parameters. I think there's a lot of options you could mess with, especially when you're mostly just like agreeing to these rules across the board. We can add some rules in game to them if possible, but there's a lot of flexibility to it. So I think besides just like the technical side of things, and just organizing it was we learned a lot from that as well. I think the actual event itself, I don't think I would change anything in it if I went back and looked at it. I think the setup time was a little long. We kind of like got our stuff in there, and then it was just a hangout for 10 minutes, and it was like, okay, this is not really exciting. It was nice to have some downtime though, so like maybe it's good to have a little downtime, but if we could finish it faster, does it feel better? It's hard to say, but I think next time we'll experiment with the structure a little bit to see if we can get something different out of it and make sure it feels fresh and different, because you always want to keep people on their toes, right? Like what made this fun and interesting was it was a new problem to solve for a lot of folks, and it's not something you have knowledge about the thing, but you can't solve it right away. And I think that's what's interesting. I think if we do this like 3 or 4 times, it might become pretty boring and rote, and people would figure out the strategies and that's it. But I one of our engineers suggested we could turn off the auto button to make it weirder. We could do all sorts of stuff like that as well on the back end to tweak with it. But a lot of opportunity for next time for sure.
I like it. Grid, did you want to ask anything to Crumb, brother? Have you got anything you want to throw his way? Just curious.
I don't know. I do. Well, first off, I apologize. I had to step away there for a second. Jokes aside, I actually somehow did manage to hurt my back during my last stream, so I needed a second to stretch and grab some medicine.
It's all good. These days, the modeling agency need to make sure you're in tip-top condition. We understand that totally. It's fine, It's
so I do apologize for that, but I had it pulled up and I was listening to some stuff. But if I had any question, I don't know. I would love to not make sure, but I'd love to put it out there. I'd love that we could do it again and make sure it's just like you were just saying, that we're, if things get switched up with content creators or the actual premise of it, we're all in a unique situation of being boosted up to 11 point, whatever that was, 7 million GP. I think it'd be super interesting, just like you're saying, if we all of a sudden we're down at like 2 million GP. There's a lot of people who haven't been at 2 million GP for a long time. It's like, oh my goodness, like what would we do? That would be hilarious. I guess if I had to come up with a question, it'd be like, did it go how you wanted it? Like as CG, as the developers, as the people who was putting it together, did it accomplish what you guys wanted it to do? Did it go the way that you guys were expecting it? Was this something where you guys, let's rally the community, let's get people together, let's do some stuff? Like, do you guys consider it a success, regardless of like whoever won or how it actually went? Mm-hmm. Did it do what you guys wanted it to do? I guess, if that makes sense, as a concept.
Sure. Yeah, and I think it definitely did. Our goal with this was to not only have a fun event that created a great time for the, to make some cool content out of it from all the people in the community, to not only just show off like how much fun Grand Arena can be for, when you kind of tweak the thing a little bit. I think like a secondary goal for me was also just to be like, hey, we have some pretty killer people in the dev team that know how to play this game. And I know the team gets a lot of flack sometimes for not knowing how this game works. And so I was like, let's pull out the big guns here and make sure we win this and show well here. So I'm glad that we won at the top, just so we could say like, hey, we know what we're doing, guys. We've played this game once or twice. So that feels good. I think it accomplished really a lot of goals that we set out in the first place. I think we're pretty loose on like, how many people we wanted to watch or anything like that. Like that didn't really matter to us. It was more just creating this fun time that people wanted to tune into and see this kind of like taking strategies that people know and then kind of flip them on its head and make people rethink it. And I think if you look at the leaderboard, I think, some of the strongest teams out there that I was betting on to get into first, were in the middle of the pack or at the bottom. And I think that's interesting to see that like, it's not always about how good you are at the regular game. This adds a new element to it. And that was really cool. So I'm glad we could do that because that was a big goal for us.
That's great. I loved it. I'm really glad to hear it did what you guys wanted it to do, because on the flip side, not only as somebody who, participated in it, which I'm very grateful I was able to be a part of it, but also like the concept of it, I thought it was such a great idea. As being someone who, because I went through this path of like, I played the game for probably 3 years before I did any content creation in any way, shape, or form. And so kind of going from just like a player to a viewer to a content creator to a participator. And there's this wide spectrum of people who are like, well, what's the point of this thing? And why are there people in there that I don't know who they are? And I'm like, that is the point. We are seeing the developers of the game directly, literally like directly interacting with the community, whether content creators, the biggest ones or the smallest ones, it doesn't matter. It's the player base that is directly interacting with the developers, which is something that I said for a long time in some way, shape, or form that I wanted to see from CG, and I loved it. I thought it was so exciting. Participating or not, I thought it was a really cool idea, and I'm really glad that it all came together. We were doing those test runs. We're like, oh, wait, too. What? I know some people are like, okay, that didn't work. Let's, okay, well, I'm not going to sleep tonight. Let's work on this. I'm really grateful for you guys' hard work putting that in. I'm glad it achieved what you guys wanted it to as well, because I think it did. So thank you so much for putting it on. And
first and foremost, we wanted this to be fun for everyone, right? Like we wanted this to be a good time. And I think we had a great time. And so I think that was definitely accomplished as well. So
100%.
Yeah. I haven't heard anyone have it too bad of a time. And I know, some people were sad, but still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Quick one from chat, and I'll ask if anyone else wants any other questions to throw at Gom soon, guys. I'll move back to you in a second. But a good one from Mike Monkey in chat. Can I ask Crumb if this could be a game mode we could play with our friends or guildmates in the future? Is that a possibility?
Well, I think you outlined a couple of like the issues that would be, with the time zones and how do you make sure that there's enough people to align in each of those kind of things that are at the same GP, right? I think like this was a very, we contrived a very specific scenario here to make this work and to make it feel balanced. I don't know if that would always be the case in the wild. So, and I think it's a lot, man. Like, I don't know if I'd want to do this for like 3 GACs in a row. I think I'd be pretty exhausted, even if there was a couple weeks in between. Like, I kind of like I think it was Zareth's solo stream was like, slow gack, just like it God intended. Like, it's nice to go back to it and go like, all right, cool. Like I don't have to like rush through this thing and think at 1,000 miles an hour and have someone over my shoulder tell me every time I mess up, which I appreciate, Loki. So no shade there, but it was stressful.
Absolutely. That's crazy. Hey, any other questions out there, guys?
I'm just waiting. Every time I'm on the stream with Crumb, he drops bombs, and I hate him for it because he puts me in these positions. I'm like, okay, what's he gonna drop on me? Where I'm like,
Ranger's not sufficiently sweating right now, so let's see what I can do.
God damn it! I was just waiting, man, because I know you always dick with me, dude, man. Every time, man, I sit there, I'm like, every stream I'm like, don't ask me anything. I can't say anything. Leave me alone. Blah blah blah.
For this whole
if you want to know what's happening in the future, let me just give you a couple of nuggets here. It's like,
we were on Cub stream when I was like looking at you dead in the eye, being like, what do you want to say about this? Right before I told them, hey, by the way, you're all involved.
I was like, you're such a turd, man.
I'm just waiting for Crumb to be like, yeah, I mean, that's a cool idea. Maybe we'll see in like Swiggo 2, when we come out with Swiggo 2. That'd be kind of cool. And everyone's like, what? And he's like,
yeah, it's, next week at the Beskar Mando release.
Hey, just a quick one as well, Crumb. I know that you got a puzzle on the way. Rick Astley's asking at the moment. You are still working on a puzzle. I think you mentioned that in the road ahead that you've got the hardest puzzle coming up.
Big trouble.
Have we got any a rough idea on when people might see this puzzle that everyone's really can't wait to get their hands on? Is it still a fair way away? Or is it pretty close?
I'd keep your eye out for sure, but you never know when these things are going to drop. And but I wouldn't say it's too far off. But I'm not going to give a hard timeline here because I definitely want it to be a surprise.
I like it. Fantastic. And of course we've got our new Boba, man. Our new Boba dropped obviously during the week. That dropped on the same day as BGAC. You had a very busy day, Crumb. You had a very busy day.
Yes, that was
with Road Ahead.
Yeah, just the Road Ahead. No biggie. No big deal.
Road Ahead, character release, then running to Speed GAC, and not to mention there's other stuff we're prepping for that were also going on. So it was it was like right up into it. I was like, man, I hope we have. I hope we don't have anything else blow up during the middle of this.
It's absolutely crazy. But look, Boba looks amazing. He really does. Thank goodness. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, being a bounty hunter lover, finally getting knee rockets in the game. I could not
knee
be
rockets.
happier.
It's
I'm
awesome.
not going to lie. That's absolutely brilliant. Have you seen a really good response from his release since he arrived so far, or like any feedback on people who like him or happy that he's going to be in Conquest coming soon?
Yeah, I mean, I think people have been stoked on the kit so far. I've seen a lot of positivity around that. I mean, obviously, it's going to take some time for people to unlock him, so I think we'll see more when he finally is available through after 3 conquests here. So, yeah, so far, I mean, I think he's a real good character, and when I've been testing with him, he's been very, very solid. So I'm expecting people to like him when they get their hands on him.
I like it a lot. Guys, I'll open the floor to anyone else, obviously any of you guys, in Zoom that wants any questions to Crumb while he's here. He can't join us for super long, obviously. It's a Friday night. He's got family duties, of course, down the track, but he's more than welcome to stay as long as he likes. You know that. But anything you guys want to throw at Crumb while he's here?
I can't.
So Gom, raise a hand. You, sir, over there.
I have to be quiet.
In the white hat?
Yeah, Gom has to be quiet, too. You shut your pie hole.
Hi, it's me, Crumb. I'm good on Maurice.
Hi.
Oh my God!
From Operation Metaverse.
Will CG open a new studio in Vegas and open up Sit and Go Speed Gax? You want to get? Yeah. If you guys want to get my money, that's how you do it.
Gom's always got the gambling angle. I always feel like
honey, do you want to hit the
gambling.
slots or you want to do Speed JC? Baby, I got to hit the Speed JC. I need to.
Yeah.
You don't know. I'm hurting, yo.
Got to get all
Dom
my
wants to
money.
hit the sports book on it. That's what he wants.
He's going to start being a bookie over here.
I was curious what the odds were on each of the players going in. I would have liked to get a bookie in there just to give us a quick odds rundown of who they expected to win there, but that was pretty funny.
I'm shocked no one made one even just in jest. I'm shocked.
Yeah. What was the tier list here? Because I think we all had our own personal tier lists in our heads, which I won't ask to share for fear of embarrassing people. But I'm curious what the actual numbers would have run out to be.
Yeah, it was.
Redneck Jedi says he'll run the odds next time.
That's our boy Hershey. He's very good at that. And the exciting thing, Crumb, we've been talking the last few days, haven't we? We've been talking about doing a stream next week.
Yeah,
together, which
very
is
excited
really,
to do
really
that.
cool. So we're actually going to do a stream next week. It's going to be a charity stream. Are we going to do it for Children's Miracle Network, or what's our plan? Who are we actually raising it for? Are we going to do ACS? What are you thinking, Crumb? It's up to you, brother. Up to you.
I'm thinking we're gonna stick with the Children's Miracle Network. We've got a couple more. I got a bunch more subs and stuff coming in from my channel, so I want to see if we can hit the 20K on there. I think we're getting pretty close, so that would be awesome to try and finally get over that 20. I mean, we hit 19K on the stream, which was amazing. So congratulations to everyone who helped make that happen. You were tremendous on the lead up to our big charity stream, but we're so close to 20K. I feel like we can get there.
We can. So we're looking at, I think it is this Thursday night coming. This Thursday night we're going to be doing a stream. I'll be live. I assume Crumb will be live as well.
Yep,
we'll both
absolutely
be streaming. We're actually going to play Call of Duty Mobile on BlueStacks together, but it's going to be an open field. We're going to do Battle Royale. We're going to get people that contribute to the Children's Miracle Network donations. We're going to have an open lobby of, I think, up to about 50 or 60 that can join us. So we've got some absolute superstars jumping in as well. Grid, I believe you're involved as well, if I'm right. We've talked about this.
Yep.
So
I will be there.
Our boy Grid will be there as well. So we're going to put something together. So
I'm going to come out number
coming.
1 on that, though. That's my territory.
No. I can't wait to absolutely just annihilate Grid in Call of Duty Mobile Battle Royale style. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we're all going to go head to head. So anyone, so stay tuned for more information next week. But yeah, on Thursday, Crumb will be live. I'll be live. We'll be streaming Call of Duty Mobile. We're going to have a bunch of special guests come and join us. We're going to raise some money for Children's Miracle Network, see if we can get it over the line. And we're going to have a heck of a good time. So can't wait for that one. So we'll have a ball. It'll be cool. Just thought I'd mention that while I remember. Bit of housekeeping. Yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled, guys. Anything else you guys want to add before we get into my GSC battle today? Anything we want to do here? Solo, anything you want to add, brother, or anyone else? Or
One quick thing. I want to shout out to a Rangers stream. I know we mentioned it earlier, but I'll be hanging out there. I know Loki and Ranger for tomorrow. So once again, I will be streaming for charity. And a huge shout out to the RSG folks for continuing year after year to raise a ton of money for ACS. So super congratulations to those guys.
Yeah.
So far, we've already had people donating. So we're all about. We're Gamers for Cancers, and we've raised. I don't know how much money we've raised, but it's a ton of money, and we're gonna have a lot of great guests on tomorrow. I'll put the link there in the Discord for you, Heinz, if you want to link it.
If anybody
wants to
absolutely.
donate.
Absolutely.
We're partnered with the American Cancer Society. We help create the Gamers for Cancer, and this year is more important than ever because with COVID, we're seeing the uptick on cancer go way up because COVID was so much in the forefront that people were not getting tested for cancer. So we're seeing later stages of cancer happening. And so there's that side of it. And then, the ACS's biggest goal is to get rid of cancer. I lost my father to cancer and a lot of my family members, and being partnered with the American Cancer Society, we've done a lot of cool things over the year, like visiting the Children's Hospital of Atlanta, where we dressed up as Darth Revan and things of that nature. Every year we've raised $15,000 or more over the last 4 or 5 years. And so if you guys like to donate, please do. We're gonna have a 24-hour stream tomorrow. We're gonna have a lot of fun people on, some really cool people, and a lot of fun games. We're gonna be doing 24-hour streams. So if you want to please donate, please do. And if you want to be anonymous, you can. $1, $5, it all matters. And if you want to tell your story, because I think cancer has affected all of us in some way or some form or capacity. We know somebody, either family member, friend, just someone, acquaintance that has dealt with cancer. So please feel free to come join us. I'm getting for the big 24-hour stream tomorrow. So please come out tomorrow, have a lot of fun, and let's raise some money for the ACS.
I like it. Straight up. Absolutely fantastic. So, guys, it's been incredible. It really has. So anything else? Sorry, Solo, did I cut you off before? Do you want to say anything, brother? I didn't mean to be rude.
I feel
I'm sorry.
awful making a joke after that, so F cancer. But no, legit. So
sorry, Solo.
Crumb, here's my question. For the event, next time you run it, can you not have the ships at 100% dodge chance? just the question.
That was for me. Just for you guys. Don't worry.
No, that was for me. That was for me because that happens every stream. It's ridiculous, and I hate it.
Geospy dodged 5 times against Dom. 5.
Galaxy of Dodgers, man. Galaxy of Dodgers. It happens. We've all been there. Happened to me the other day. You just sit there and you look at the screen and you go, you sit there and you just go.
Shots fired.
Actually, I do have one more question for Crumb, if I can. Will you be participating in everyone in future to see if you actually get off the bottom spot?
Oh.
I told you, this is the start of the comeback story for Crumb, okay? I had to set it up so it's perfect. You got to start at the bottom, and then you got to come right to the top. So don't worry. The Crumb story is not over.
I'll just, put my resume out there. If you want a good coach, I got your back,
Okay, so we need to talk about that, actually. We need to talk about
I'll
that.
carry you through, GOM, Crazy, other developers.
Okay, look at the big head on
you guys.
I got you.
Grid, we need to
I
talk.
heard this exception guy's pretty good, though.
Grid, we need to talk. We need to talk,
Yeah, those
Grid.
guys aren't allowed back.
We need to talk, Grid. Now, I saw a YouTube short that you made the other day You know, just patting yourself on the back, just walking down the street with their hair flowing in the wind, just strutting around like you were Conor McGregor, sitting there saying, we did great, we got second, and it was fantastic. You are aware you finished third on the leaderboard, correct?
Yeah, you're 2B, bro.
Yeah.
You know, so there's only one way to go about it, and that's we were the only person in the championship round. So
you're not first,
that's
you're last.
That's because you didn't face us, Grid. I would have whooped that ass.
Maybe if you won your rounds, we would have, gone against each other.
We did. So we just. I gotta admit, I shit the bed on the first round. I was going for points, and I totally forgot how OM plays, and they caught me, and so I had to rethink my strategy after that.
You know what's funny? Oh my god, dude! Like somebody earlier mentioned all the mistakes they were making in the battle, and like the whole battle versus you and Heinze. I'm sitting there with my Kylo on Kylo, right? Because I had nothing for Kylo. You guys messed us up. Like Kylo on Kylo, I'm sitting there just trying to feed all this turn meter over and over again against the Zeta Hux. Like the whole battle, I'm sitting here like using all my turn meter abilities, and it's doing nothing. I'm watching. I'm like, man, I look like a knucklehead. Just like it was such a crazy.
Well, that was that was the thing about it. That first round, it was such a new thing, and I mean, everybody I think did a great job, and we've been giving kind of Crumb a hard time, but I mean, it was such a new thing. I mean, I had to really rethink about after that first round, and I got to give credit to Heinze. He made me rethink. It's like, just play like you normally play, Ranger. And I did the next 2 rounds, and it went fine. But I was thinking like, oh my God, we only have so much time. Let me just go get points and let's put the pressure on. And I wasn't really thinking straight about like how some of these battles go. And it really makes you think outside your box, and you have to kind of stay inside your box when you're doing something like this, because you get away from what works, and it just makes you like do stupid things that you're just not normally you would do in a GAC. And it was really interesting to see, how it went. And I was telling Heinze and some other people, I'm like, there was a lot of close matches in this one. I mean, it was really close. I mean, even Niv had a close round the first one, and it could have gone either way. And with that, it's not like a normal GAC. Once time's up. I mean, it doesn't matter. Whoever has the most points wins at that point. So, I mean, it could have been easily us going 0-3 or anybody else going 0-3. So it was nuts, man. It was something totally different, and I salute everybody, because damn, that was insane.
Look, I wasn't even the one pressing the buttons. I have all jokes aside, I have so much respect that you guys were able to do that, because like I was, even though like mine and Cub's arrangement was like he was just going to try and do whatever I said, right? But the problem is like there's not even like that much time to think, let alone think to say to like do something. So I feel like a lot of my like comms, I was just like, press that button. I'm just like, I was like it's so hard to. I can't think of the abilities. I can't think of like. I'm just like, I know this thing does what I normally want it to do. So just wing it. I press it. Hopefully it does what we're hoping it's going to do. You just didn't have time to think about all of the mechanics that are in a certain button or a certain thing. And hopefully normally it wouldn't matter, but when you're on that much of a time frame, you're just like, press that button, press that. Press that button, do that thing.
Totally instinct. It's totally instinct. It's like you've practiced that counter enough to know how it works. And even then you can get RNG and you're like, oh, damn. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, we're in trouble, because that's not how this normally plays. So it was intense, man.
I reckon removing the auto button would really change it up. I'm not going to lie, because I remember there was many times I was saying to Ranger, mate, just so we can get another shot in, hit auto. Like, hit auto.
Oh, I did a few times, because we had to, like,
get this time. We know it's one.
That was 100% my strategy.
And move on.
I was like, get to any point in this match where you can press auto. Whatever. As soon as you think you might be able to do it, just hit that button.
Yeah. Well, that's what we did for Vader, the Vader counter that we were using. Once I got about 230 and we got to Vader and we were burning Vader down, Lord Vader, then I'm like, okay, auto, because I can't spend another minute and a half trying to kill the 2 tanks that most people were using on that team to dick around with that. So yeah, I mean, you had to think about like those little things that you just don't normally think about in a GAC that you had to kind of take into account. It was crazy, guys. It was really crazy.
Yeah.
No. What you said earlier, Ranger, of just like you have to fight a lot of like your instincts on stuff, because it's like I wanted to clear every time, so I was like going through it methodically like I was supposed to do that, but like it cost us 1 round for sure where we could have completed it had we gone for. There's 2 teams left in the last zone. Went for the hard Ray team for some reason, and it's going to take forever as opposed to the other one, which we could have wiped out immediately. And it was just like, I should use my best team right now to make sure I can clear Ray, and then I'll move on to the easier one. But it's like I shouldn't have done that. I should just clear the bottom one and just won the match. But you're trying to fight all those instincts you've built up over time, and that was really interesting because you have to kind of go against like your normal logic on a lot of this stuff.
And a lot of it just comes down to pressure, doesn't it? I mean, you have just in the back of your mind, hey, we got to hustle here. We got to make sure, because you don't know what's going on the other side when you're in a battle. You don't know if they're ahead, you don't know if they're behind. You've got no idea. So I think the fun of it was that, hey, mentally you go, hey, look, I've got to really push through this as quick as I can to get to the next one. And half the time you're thinking of the next one before actually finishing the one you've got. And I think that was a really cool dynamic, having to, in your mind, sort of compartmentalize it as much as possible. I found it really, really interesting there, for sure. But look, is there anything else we want to add, guys, before we wind this chat up? Because I tell you what, it's been absolutely incredible. It really has. Been amazing.
Great match to everybody. Thanks for being there. It was awesome.
Everybody,
yeah, great work, everybody.
Straight up.